Welcome to Honestas. This is the 8th episode in my Uprooting Passion series, and I am so grateful and excited to be here with my good friend and colleague, Mahboba Islami. Hello, ciao bella,
Hello. Ciao.
come stai?
Bene, grazie. It's really a pleasure to be with you in a different way. We always meet every day, and I'm really
Yes.
happy like we are doing a different thing.
So some background. Me and Mahboba, we are students here in Rome, and we are both getting our masters in peace studies and conflict resolution. And she is just a wonderful human being, and we connect
Oh,
so well. And she is such a great friend, and I'm so grateful to have her as support and just a friend here in Rome and to go through our fun master's program together.
yeah.
But Mahbouba has an incredible story, and I'm excited to talk about your just background and your culture because it's really interesting. So, do you want to start by just giving some background about you and your family?
Yeah, of course. First of all, I need to tell that it's really a pleasure, and I'm really lucky to have a friend like you in like this all situation we are going through. And you are also a very good, supportive friend for me. And I'm really happy to have you in my life. I wish we will be in touch, like even after finish our studies. So yeah. And
Yes.
about the background, actually, I was born in. I'm from Afghanistan. My father and my mom, they got married like it was during the Russia occupation and invasion in Afghanistan. And yeah, I'm the third, and I was born in a refugee camp in Pakistan. And like with all the challenges and the situation of our, we decided, and I really don't want to always talk about the bad part of our lives, but it's like really strongly connected, so I cannot like ignore or just like cut off them. So yeah, and then uh, after like uh, fall of communism, we returned back to Afghanistan, and I was really a small little girl. And then we saw in our own city and own village that uh, people came to uh, it was different group, and the start of civil war. So people from different group, like military and group, they came to our house and they wanted to kill our father. So like I just remember this as a very like strong memory that I always have it with me, and I really wanted to write about it. Mm, and then we had to leave like our parent province, so we left. We became like immigrant inside of our country. We went to another city, and my father, he started working. My mom was a housewife, and she was really supportive for our father, and she was taking care of everything in our family. We are a very big family. I have
Mhm.
6 sisters and 4 brothers. One is like we lost him 10 years ago, and after my father. And then Taliban started, the first period of Taliban. We had to leave a school, and we were abandoned from going to school, and all the problems that people had with Taliban. The first period, it was like kind of uh, the all pressure was like equally on men and women in Afghanistan. So again, we left. We went to Iran, and it's interesting. Uh, My father, exactly, because we were not allowed to go to school, and also political issues because my father had a really strong problem with Taliban. They were from a different group, and also my father stopped the mm, after invasion of Russia and communism system when fall down, my father stopped being in groups. So uh, we left, and we were in Iran for the same reason that we were not allowed to go to school. We were facing it like several times in Iran whenever they had like some political problems or whatever. The effect was on us, like children. We were kids, and sometimes they were coming like every 4, 6, 5 months. They were asking us like in our school, you are sitting in front of your classmates, you are in the same situation, but they are Iranian and you are Afghan, and they say like Mahboba, or like my sisters like Amina, you are not allowed to come to school like since tomorrow. And we had to stay and at home for we didn't know like how long it will take, but at all. That's why when like uh, after 9/11 and like the war in it was like a beginning of another war in Afghanistan, but for us it was like a new chapter, and we could come back to our own country
Mm.
and continue studying, and all of my sisters, my brothers, everybody.
You have a very long intro because
Yeah.
there's so much I feel like that's
Yeah,
happened in your life.
because
Such a long
when
intro. So
I
there's
have
so much to talk about.
yeah.
But yes. And so like I want to know more about Afghanistan and Afghani culture at its core, at its heart, without war, without violence, without
Mhm.
discrimination. I want to know about this Afghanistan.
Sometimes I'm also telling that everything about Afghanistan is not war. We have like other things, beautiful things that I really proud to be an Afghan. But
Mhm.
like the situation and like other stuff brought the changes as all discrimination, war, everything. Like it's long-term war, so of course, like it has like the war has the effect on people, society, everything. But what I
Mhm.
love about our country is like the strong relationship between family members. Like sometimes some people say that it's not
Mm.
good when someone is getting married, living, and also after like you become independent. But uh, like for me, it was nice to have all our family members together, like living in, in the same under the same roof, and also um, you know even uh, somehow people consider this also as a violence against women, or like against like the young boys, everything that we share our income. Like when for example, I'm a doctor, or one of my sisters is a judge, one of my brothers like he had a small business, or another one. Everybody is taking care of everybody else, and until they become independent, they
Mm.
can stand on their own. And I know in everywhere in the world it's the same, but like somehow I felt it really more strong in our culture. And also the hospitality. We like to
Yes.
have guests. It's like somehow people have the competition to have guests in their houses. And like I remember when we lost our father, we didn't have a lot of guests. And one day I saw my mom is crying that, oh, these boys, they are not social. They don't want to continue like our, uh, like my husband was used to bring guests and we had good time. So it's not only like to have the guest, it's like to have the connection with other people and have information about their
Mm.
situation and in which and also uh, people were like when someone has or had problem, uh, we do not have the support that okay, it's a personal issue, like we need to respect the privacy or other stuff. But sometimes when we see that someone is in need and we need to take care of them, we interrupt their life and say like, hey, if you need something or if we can do something, just tell us, because we are all, and we have been through like this kind of situation. So if you need me, count on me, we are here for you. We have like New Year, we have like our Eids. In New Year we have the celebration very different, with like colorful clothes, specific dance and songs. And the other thing about my country is like the nature and
Ah, yes, I love the
yeah,
photos you have showed me.
yeah. Like we have very beautiful cities and like mountains and like rivers. When there is like a peaceful situation and people are gathering all together and they cook at home and bring everything outside and sharing
Mm.
foods, it's another part of
Yeah.
our culture. It's in Afghanistan, it's really different and you feel like home everywhere you are.
Mm.
Like it's not
Yeah.
like you feel you are far from your family or whatever. When you are inside Afghanistan, everybody is welcoming you when you are
And
going to
this
it.
is how you make me feel. That's how you make me feel. Like
Yeah.
everything you've described is exactly how you are as a friend and as a person, and everything that you do, you really represent the most beautiful points of, I think, Afghanistan and its culture. Truly. And you talked the other day and kind of mentioned about your father and how, like, people in the community saw him as their father too. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, whenever I'm talking about my father, I get emotional because, the connection between us, like between me, between my sisters, brothers, and our father was like really something different. And every single one of us, we were thinking that, oh, our father
Mhm.
loved us more than others. The way he were treating us. Uh, he always support us, and in a society like there are men dominant situation. Uh, when he was going to a seminar,
Yeah.
was going to a like conference, everything, he always were calling me and my sisters, let's go, we have a conference and you have to participate. He was asking us to stand and like for 5 minutes speak. Okay, go speak about this issue like for 5 minutes, then for 10 minutes. And also when he wanted to
Wow.
decide about something, yeah, he was asking everybody to come and like, yeah, we will have like when, but at all he was doing what he wanted to do, but always he was asking our opinion like about very small matters in our lives and always telling us. um, and I remember that's why I really, uh, even when I was a doctor, I was ashamed of having a mm, personal clinic. always I was working with other
Yeah.
hospitals or public. He was telling us like we have like always do not look at for your wishes and ambition everything, look at top, but in
Mhm.
um, economic situation and like having uh, the everything you want, always think about people who do not have whatever you have. So you need to
Mm.
consider children on the streets. You need to consider uh, your neighborhood, what they are eating. Do they have like even the dinner or lunch and you are having everything? We were not really rich family. We had our problems sometimes, like because it was war situation. Uh, we had a lot of problem, but the approach of our
Yeah.
father was like not always think about others too. If you have something, share it, and uh, never feel like uh, you are apart from this society. And yeah, when we lost him, I am coming to your question because uh, your question was about the when we lost our father. The day like in his funeral, there were coming women and also young boys, children, and they were telling we lost our father now. And it was like interesting for other people. We knew our father that he was really like generous person, but
Yeah.
they were telling like uh, your father was coming and he was telling us like just do your whatever you want, but study, and if you want to change the situation for your life or your family life, just study, and if you need anything, just call me and ask me. And we know that
Yeah.
all the time he doesn't have the possibility to help people, but he had this strong support emotionally as well. And the woman
Yeah.
many people, they didn't know these women, they were widows, and they were from really far and really poor part of the city, and they were coming and saying that okay, he was coming to us and asking about our situation and bringing sometimes everything, and even like introducing us to people who are willing to help people. So uh,
Mm.
for other people, they were talking that it was like something, when in your funeral people came that you never know them. We as his family, we didn't know these people, and
Yeah.
I am sure there are like a lot of people like him in Afghanistan, because they have been through a lot of financial crisis, problems, war, everything, and when they feel the situation, they don't want to like other people go through these things. And um, I have this feeling and this inspiration from him that okay, we have to think about ourselves. We should take care of ourselves. We should put ourselves like um, in a good situation to um, can provide help or services for other people. But sometimes you need to put others before you, even to convince and yourself and to make happy yourself. Otherwise you are
Yeah.
with yourself and taking care only of yourself, and you don't consider other people's situation. It
Yeah.
makes you like okay, um, I'm here, I have my life. I have my job. I have like a good life. So whatever I want. But as a medical doctor, still in when I left Afghanistan, here I have like some problem with that too. But I have the opportunity to work with hospitals and like uh, other stuff. But I think mm, we need really women from our situation to come and to the, like, you know, we are in our class and maybe sometimes we feel, everybody feels that I have my biases about our situation, everything. But if we want to bring some changes, if we want to help other people, we sometimes we have to have the biases. And
Yeah.
otherwise we are just thinking, okay, yeah, like from sometimes the science and material stuff cannot help you.
Yeah,
So,
exactly. And
yeah.
I know that you we've never really talked about, but I remember you talking about it like in the beginning of the semester that you wrote a book, right?
Actually, uh, I wrote like articles and
Yeah.
books. Specifically, I didn't write the book, but these are the books that
Mm-hmm.
they put my story on. Like it's
You also wrote with feminism as well, right? Like one of
yeah,
the
yeah.
first
I
feminist literature. Yeah.
yeah. This is another part. It's like about our
Okay.
activism
Yeah.
and uh, me and my friend and uh, a group of feministic, uh, like we had the ideology of feminism, and people were telling us like, oh, how it is possible, like woman Muslim feminist, how it's possible. But it can be possible because there are a lot of different approach and everything. So we have like different type of feminism in Afghanistan. We had and have, but we
Yeah.
were approaching like Islamic feminism, and still we are working on that, and we are writing articles and publishing. And I was
Mm-hmm.
like, the approach of like Islamic feminism is not like kind of uh, other feminists in Afghanistan. They had problem with us, like you cannot put religion and feminism together. But we are trying, because there are something in religion that we believe, and we want to we support women, their rights. We are trying to fight for them, like we are struggling.
Mm-hmm.
And I have I think 4 5 articles, and I published them in BBC, uh, in
What?
local
I did not know
news.
any of this about you. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, I told you, I think. Yeah.
I didn't know it was
And
in the BBC. Like you mentioned you wrote some things, but I didn't know like the extent of it. That's incredible.
yeah,
Well,
it's
the
like
reason I bring this up is because you were talking about like in education, like, you know, and about bias and how sometimes it's needed, like, especially when we're learning in a Western context, in a Western country, you know, it's so important to have experiences from what we're talking about, not from the book. You know, we can learn about the war in a book, but that's nothing compared to the experience of
yeah,
living it. And obviously,
uh,
yeah.
So, this is something that our colleagues also, we have some conversation about it. They're like, okay, it's really important to have the knowledge, to have the, like, we are studying theories, everything, but
Hmm.
compared to people who are inside the uh, situation and people who are outside of the situation, these are really totally different. And when you live the situation, you are studying about it, you can understand every single word, and sometimes you can have your like own not like narrative you can have.
Yeah.
But of course we are at the beginning and we need to,
Yeah.
that's why I like, it's really and completely different from what mm, I studied for long, and it's the beginning, and I'm sure I will face a lot of challenges. And everybody who has this aim to help women and to help like the country who uh, like went through a lot, people who went through a lot, we need to start from like zero. I know we are in the beginning,
Yeah.
but I'm hopeful and it can help.
You're the right person.
Thank you. But sometimes people tell me that you are really ambitious and and not realistic. You are idealist, but at least we can, yeah, we can open a door like to others to go like um the way we are
Yeah.
like we are trying to bring some changes. We are like in the 0 point, or maybe we even cannot open a window, but we can start. Like the start point is important.
Yes. You can only begin with someone like you who is ambitious and has no fear and is able to lead the way you do. You're not scared of the challenges. You've already been through so many challenges. You are the right person to be starting this sort of thing. So my next question is about, so
Yeah.
you're a very active feminist, and I was not aware of this Islam, would you call it Islamic feminism?
Yeah, Islamic feminism,
Right.
because
Islamic
in Islam,
feminism,
like
yeah.
we do respect like some kind of we can work with other feminist organization, but we have our specific Islamic rules. So uh,
Yeah.
we are trying to like as Muslim women work for women, and it's important because uh,
Yeah.
inside the society, in a society like Afghanistan or like other Islamic countries, uh, when you are talking about human rights, women rights, and in different approach, uh,
Hmm.
the resistance is like very strong. We do respect
Yeah.
the beliefs of uh, 35 million people, and we are also from this society, but we want our rights in a very like something is the we study about like universal human rights. So women need to have their own rights uh, in respect of uh, the majority. uh,
Yeah.
I understood in Afghanistan when it comes to uh, the situation we had uh, during 20 years of democratic situation in Afghanistan. The challenges, because why we faced like to the failure, because people were not ready to like these changes and education system, and like attacking directly people's beliefs is not a
Mm.
good way to start something. So
Right.
yeah, and the 35 million in Afghanistan, more than 90% of people are Muslims, and except of being Muslim, we have man dominant, and of course to reach your goals and uh, the exact right. In Islam, there are a lot of good points about women and uh, their rights.
Yeah.
So in respect of this, and also, of course, there are some things I believe always men manipulate them in the name of Islam, and that's why we are trying to do our feminist activities uh,
Yeah.
in our own way.
So, yeah, that's so important. Like you said, you read my article on like universalism is
Yeah,
universal. Like
yeah, yeah,
feminism should be able to be approached from different ways. It should be able
yeah,
to be approached from an Islamic point of view.
yeah,
And so yeah, and also it sounds like, and maybe you can tell more, like you were inspired a lot, you experienced a lot while working as a doctor that inspired your journey to where you are now. What can you talk about that a little bit, like the discrimination or experiences that influenced you to make your career change?
yeah. I was a student in like my fifth year. Like I even didn't start the mm, house job period. I was still a student,
Mm.
and we had this chance of asking generous doctors to allow us um, go to their private clinics and join. Like, I was willing to have like the surgery experiences. So in a clinic, there was like the surgery wasn't like general surgery. It was she was a gynecologist, and she was operating a
Okay.
woman. And the first time I saw the violence, silent violence in Afghanistan, it was when this
Yeah.
lady, she was 19 years old, and she was pregnant uh, in a situation that her husband was in another country. And it like as she told already to one of our colleagues that it was her father-in-law who did this. This was like a rape. And then when
Yeah.
they find out that she is pregnant and our son is not, so they uh, went to a non-professional midwife, and she did the abortion, illegal abortion, on a 19 years old young woman. And then uh, it was illegal and like with no education. So she had the mm, you know uterus rupture, and also I think she had a rupture in her intestine as well. So she came with
Mm.
like very difficult situation. When they opened, it was like they had to remove all, like uh, total hysterectomy, everything.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
she wasn't able to have children again. One. and they did the stoma. I don't know if
Yeah. The
it's like a medical
the
term.
ostomy bag?
Yeah, like
The ostomy bag. Yeah.
when you take out the intestine outside, and it was permanent.
Yeah.
Like all her
Mm.
life, she was 19 and she had to carry this bag, and she wasn't able to have children. Like uh, a girl without education, without job, in a very like in this kind of situation, right? Not having education, not having job, and mm, uh, not be able to have children, and have this back all your life. What will happen to her?
Yeah.
This was the first thing that
Right.
made me really angry about
Yeah.
like the violence, and nobody cares about. Then I saw like uh, we had some women, they brought them to hospital, to emergency room, and they were already dead, and they
Mm.
pretend it was like mm, suicide, they killed themselves. But you know, with the medical everything, you can understand, you can find out that it's not like a suicide. But they were not telling anybody, like fathers, brothers, they came, and because the husband is someone like their relative, they don't want to bring these things to court or like to justice. And yeah, you wrote your report, yeah, you wrote it, so it's okay. You don't need to make it like public or send it to to courts, or like the uh, for follow up. But
Yeah.
but we were like, I was one of people who always, I was talking to our colleagues. We need it was our job, and everybody, they were writing like the report, and nobody
Yeah.
was like, okay, we cannot write this report. They were writing the report, but in somehow they were not reporting to legal authorization. This was a problem. So yeah, we
Yeah.
have the report in hospital, but there is no follow-up for this violence. And my father was a judge, my sister were judge,
Mm-hmm.
and one of my brother, he was working with like the legal um, agencies. So the rape, the silent violence, honor killing, and this kind of situation, I was always seeing these things, and I thought, okay, um, you need to speak up. You cannot be silent and seeing all these things. And I'm writing it in social media, sometimes reporting it like a kind of paper
Yeah.
to other people. But of course, these things that I'm sharing with you, uh, I wrote them like notes, still trying to find a way to write them really proper. But I
Yeah.
I hope I can do it after our studies.
Yeah.
But I have my notes all the time, and also like even using the Instagram and Facebook and Twitter is helping me to mm, uh,
Good.
yeah, to report these things for like the people. Uh, when you speak, because the people, when it doesn't mean that if the authorities, or if like the uh, mm, people who need to, like the law should be supportive for women and should take care of this stuff, they are not, you cannot speak like in a social media like Facebook or like Instagram, and you cannot bring it up with like normal people. They may
Yeah.
think and they may change their opinions about women, about girls. The like the it changed a lot of ideas and opinion. The social media effect is like very strong nowadays, and even change the
Right.
policies. So uh, it's a
Yeah.
kind of very small, but I'm working on it. And my social media is not like putting my beautiful photos. It's a kind of mess all the time. When I see it, oh my God, it
Well, I
doesn't have
will.
some.
Well, my last question to you is what is your message to both women and women of Islam around the world?
As a woman to other woman is like, uh, girl, woman, you should be strong and believe in yourself, and whatever you want to do, you can do it. And don't be afraid of society. Don't be afraid of like judgment. Don't be afraid of like whatever you think that even sometimes your partners, because I can see like in some societies partners are having very strong effect on girls and women. So be yourself and be strong, a very strong type of yourself.
Yeah.
Because being a woman itself is something really unique, but when you are a strong woman, it makes it double unique. And for
Absolutely.
our Afghan woman, yeah, for our Afghan woman, uh, I know for Afghan women inside the country, I cannot tell them that, okay, stand for your rights, because I know the Taliban and how they treat our women who are uh, like who were trying to mm, protest. They killed women. I don't want to put them in a hard situation, but I'm telling them that you are not alone. Why we left our country, it's only because of you and because of your daughters and girls' future. And I'm sure the situation will change and you will be free again. But I'm sorry, for other women around the world that are from
You're very
Afghanistan, I'm just telling, yeah, I'm just telling that, uh, hey, you are Afghan girl, and uh, I'm curious why you support Taliban when you are from Afghanistan and you know what is going on with your sisters inside the country. And also, uh, don't think only about yourself. I'm happy that we are free, we are in a situation we can express ourselves, but do not forget where you came from and what responsibility you have for other sisters and women inside your country. And if you want to sleep normal, just do not forget your sisters and your women uh, in a country called Afghanistan. Afghanistan. Yeah.
It's very beautiful, Mahboba. Thank you so much. Make me
Thank you.
emotional.
Sorry,
We shared
I
lots of
wish
tears, but
one and you are you are too. Thank you. Thank you, dear. I'm
yes.
really happy that I
Well,
have. You shouldn't be from Afghanistan or from a country like who they are going through problems like women in Iran, like children in Palestine, or
yeah.
the women and men in Ukraine or other part like Yemen that is forgotten forever. Nobody cares about them. You don't need to be
Yeah.
from these countries. You just need to be a human and feel what they are going through. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You said it perfectly and beautifully, and I'm
Thank
so
you.
glad that, again, for the millionth time, I'm so grateful for you. So grateful for you, and
Me too.
to hear your story and your words of wisdom. And I'm going to link, if I can, I'll link your social media so that way, you know, people can see your posts or activism, and
Thank
also
you.
maybe some links to your articles so people can see those as well. Well, the last thing I was going to say is that you, just like you always tell me, you are going to make such great change in this world. You've already made such great change in this world, and you are an incredible human being inside and out. You're an incredible woman, and I love you. And we always tell each other we love each other, but I love you so much, and
I love you more.
it's weird seeing you through the phone and not giving you a hug in person, but truly thank you, and I really think that you're going to bring change to women in around the world and in vulnerable countries. So thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you
Thank
for
you.
this.
I wish. I was going just to tell you that you already brought the change. You are a part of these changes, and
Oh,
I'm happy to have you and grateful to have a friend like you.
thank
The first day you came to me and you hugged me, I think, and we start. Uh, I wish, I hope this friendship continue like and long last.
I think so. I'm confident.
Wow.
Well,
Me too.
thank you again. That is
Thank
this
you.
episode of Honestas. Please check out the article for this interview in the bio, as well as the other links to Mahboba's work and her profile. Ciao, ciao for now. Love you all. See you next week.